Good morning, Wright State University, and welcome to the Wright Morning Show on WWSU. Start your day the right way with us. We will be covering current events in the news, local, national, and from Wright State. We will provide a daily dose of inspiration and positivity to lighten your day. And we will have a special feature depending on the day of the week. So grab your tea or your coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy the Wright Morning Show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wright Morning Show on WWSU 106.9 FM for Wednesday, November 24th, 2021. It's a day before Thanksgiving.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah. And on the phone line, we have the Harmony Turkey. How are you doing this morning?
Go, 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 go. Doing good. I'm at least awake. I'm alive. I'm making sure that you have a clean space at the kitchen table for once you come to have turkey dinner.
Yes.
So, yes, lots of things going on.
Just to give you a heads up for those of you who watch the morning show on YouTube, we will not be on YouTube on Thursday or Friday because we will be doing the show remotely because campus is going to be closed. So, just a heads up for you. If you want to tune into the morning show online, you could go to wwsu1069.org on Thursday and Friday, because we will not be on YouTube those days. With that being said, let's get into our current events for today. So we're going to go ahead and start off with local news. First off, from Dayton.com, a Dayton family seeks community support after the death of a Bun Brothers founder.
Oh.
The founder of a hot dog and ice cream and grill shop that's quickly gained a following of Dayton foodies since its debut in May has passed away. Mike Davis, 51, co-founder of the Bun Bros LLC Coneyland, or just the Bun Bros, died early this week after a heart attack.
Aww.
Yeah. Since opening earlier this year, Davis has led the shop, along with a longtime friend and co-founder, Von Krager, to become a popular shop thanks to an impressive creative grill menu and friendly service.
Oh my God, I know who that is.
Oh, you know that person?
Friend of a friend, yep.
Oh, no. Dang. The Bun Bros at 2509 Valley Pike will stay open for 2 weeks in order to sell as much food as possible for fewer waste costs. Hopefully in that time we could get rid of most of what we have. We plan to pick back up in the spring, so hopefully that plan doesn't change, said Ashley Wirt, Davis's stepdaughter. Mike was very proud of Bun Bros, so we want to continue it in honor of him. So for the next 2 weeks, the Bun Bros will operate from noon to 6 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday. Word said Davis was loved by many. It's with great sadness to inform you that Mike Davis, our beloved husband, father, grandfather, brother, and friend to many, has suddenly passed away, posted Wirt in a Facebook announcement Monday night. We are seeking support from our local foodie community during this family's trying time. The restaurant will also sell bulk items per request. Customers can call 937-858-1732 to place orders. Donations will be accepted as well. We should order something from them.
Yes. Ugh.
Owning this business is one of Mike's greatest accomplishments, Wirt wrote. It is because of you he felt the pride in ownership and connection with the community this created. We look forward to your continued support when we reopen in the spring.
Aw.
That's kind of sad, yeah.
That is, yeah. It's a friend of a friend that I knew. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. Dayton Daily News has an article. Thousands of Dayton waste customers are warned about contaminated recycling, so check that out at Dayton Daily News. From Most Metro, the Carolyn Tree of Light.
No.
The lighting of the Carolyn Tree of Light will kick off a month of holiday festivities at Carolyn Historical Park. Festive holiday activities will be available during A Carolyn Christmas, November 23rd, through December 30th. We hope you join us for an evening of holiday fun. That would be at Carolyn Park, 1000 Carolyn Boulevard, Dayton, Ohio, 45409 from 5 to 9 p.m. Dayton Daily News has an article, Retired Beaver Creek Doctor's Message Helps Dayton Area Youth with Suicide and Coping Issues, so be sure to check that out. Springfield News Song has an article about Action Figures Collectible Store, which opened on Upper Valley Pike in Springfield. Also check that out. From WHIO, Dayton police reform is moving forward despite COVID-related budget problems. Dayton city leaders are finding money in their budget for police reform, and new police recruit classes are underway, even though budgets are not yet back to pre-pandemic level. Due to federal relief funds and higher than projected city revenues, a new recruit class began on November 8th. More than 24 police recruits were in the classroom Tuesday afternoon. The next group of police officers expected to protect the community were learning to protect their own health during their career. That's a really important investment for us to make, said Shelley Dickstein, Dayton city manager. And Dickstein told News Center 7 the city made drastic proposed cuts when planning for the 2022 budget based on how many things the pandemic shut down over the last 18 months. But city revenues have rebounded quicker than expected, and federal COVID relief money helped make sure the city had a fire and police academy recruit class this year. You can read more at WHIO.com. Dayton Daily News has an article about an Oklahoma company who acquired a Dayton tool maker and affiliate. Springfield News Song has an article, Scholarship Honors Springfield Man Killed in a Dayton Mass Shooting. From Yellow Springs News, a village to buy Lawson Place apartments. In a regular November 15th meeting held virtually via Zoom, Village Council approved two measures allowing village manager Joshua Marone to purchase an apartment building located at 10 Lawson Place. The property, owned by the Brown family since 1963, is a 16-unit apartment building. The Browns have rented the apartments to villagers for under market value in order to give affordable options to renters in the village. It was put on the market about 2 months ago. Samarone said he believes there are benefits in the village purchasing the property, citing a commitment to affordable housing. If you lose this as an affordable rental, it could be a loss for a long time, he said. This is our opportunity to make a bold move to preserve affordable housing. You can read more at ysnews.com. From WHIO, a Kettering robbery suspect stole $10,000 worth of vaping devices and cash.
Oh, God.
A Kettering robbery suspect accused of stealing $10,000 worth of vaping devices and cash from the Stroop Market is out of jail after posting bond on Monday. Quentin Johnson, 22, of Dayton, faces a single count of aggravated robbery after he was accused of robbing the business at 1901 West Stroop Road last Monday. Surveillance video from the store showed who police said was Johnson coming into the business around midnight. The video shows the suspect going to one of the store's refrigerators before pulling out a handgun and demanding money from the cash register. In the video, the suspect also forces the clerk to fill a backpack with vaping devices before running off from the store. Johnson was arrested and booked into jail. His bond was set to $75,000 after a not guilty plea. He posted bond on Monday and is now out on electronic home detention. You can read more at WHIO.com. From the Philadelphia Business Journal has an article referencing Chapman University's Joel Kotkin saying Ohio can provide middle-class dream. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Dayton.com, there's an expanded holiday light show returning this week. Downtown Jingle Lights, an interactive holiday light show, returns for the holiday season this week following a successful debut last year. Downtown Jingle Lights will kick off Friday, November 26th following the Grand Illumination and continue each evening through Saturday, January 1st. To catch the fun activity, tune your radio to 97.1 FM and drive along the route to see the show choreographed to beloved holiday tunes. This year's route will feature the show along Main Street between Monument and 5th, 3rd Street between St. Clair and Wilkinson, and Monument Avenue from Patterson to Maine. Guests can enjoy different Jingle Lights music on the following days of the week: Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays for holiday pop, Thursdays for holiday classics, and Sundays for kids' favorites. These interactive holiday lights were a hit in 2020 when we debuted them as a festive holiday edition along Main Street, said Downtown Dayton Partnership President Sandy Goodorf in a release. We're excited to be able to expand their footprint this year with even more Jingle Lights along 3rd Street and Monument Avenue. We encourage everyone to come downtown to enjoy this free holiday activity and stay to support our great collection of small businesses with your holiday shopping and celebrating this season. You could read more at Dayton.com. Dayton Business Journal has an article, Dayton Area Private Schools Discuss New Programs. From WHIO, a sex abuse investigation continues nearly 2 years after daycare abuse was reported in Dayton. Nearly 2 years after Dayton police opened an investigation into multiple allegations of sex abuse at a Dayton daycare, the case remains open with no charges filed. The Ohio Department of Job and Family Services received a complaint on January 13, 2020, involving inappropriate touching between an adult and child at Pat's Care Away from Home on West 3rd Street in Dayton. The investigation into the circumstances surrounding this incident are still ongoing. Special Victims Unit detectives have conducted numerous interviews and examined evidence recovered, Dayton Police said in a statement. At this time, the information necessary to bring this matter to conclusion has not been developed. The state suspended Pat's Care Away from Home's license 3 days after following an inspection that revealed the child care center had a serious risk violation when a staff member did not protect infants from serious injuries, the state inspection read. The daycare no longer has a license with the state. You can read more at WHIO.com. Dayton Business Journal has an article, Space 3 Fitness Studio, part of downtown Dayton revitalization. Dayton.com has a list of farms where you can find your dream Christmas tree. So if you're still shopping for a Christmas tree, check out Dayton.com for a listing of local farms where you could get a Christmas tree for this year. From Most Metro, the 2nd Street Market is to reinstitute Friday hours and add vendors and special events. The 2nd Street Market in 600 East 2nd Street in downtown Dayton will extend its hours to include Fridays starting November 26th. The 2nd Street Market will be open Fridays and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Featuring fresh local food, pantry staples, and handcrafted items, the market offers a one-stop shopping experience where visitors could grab lunch and shop for groceries and gifts. You can read more at mostmetro.com. From WDTN, 2 killed in crash involving ODOT truck on I-75 have been identified. 2 people are dead after a crash with an Ohio Department of Transportation vehicle on I-75 near State Route 725 on Tuesday. Montgomery County Regional Dispatch told 2 News the crash was reported around 10:30 a.m. in the northbound lanes of I-75 near milepost 45. Sergeant Hess with the Dayton OSHP said that an ODOT truck carrying an arrow board was following a sweeper truck at work. The arrow board was lit, indicating the driver should move over. But a Ford F-250 pickup truck driven by William Maxon, 84, of Kentucky, veered to the right and crashed into the back of the ODOT truck with the aero board, Hess said. The driver of the ODOT vehicle, Jessica Brown, 55, of Dayton, was taken to Miami Valley Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. OSHP said William Maxon had 2 Kentucky passengers in the vehicle, Ruth Niekirk, 74, in the left rear of the truck, and Mary Maxon, 83, in the right front. William Maxon and Niekirk, were pronounced dead at the scene. Mary Maxon was taken to Miami Valley Hospital with serious injuries. You can read more at WDTN.com. We're going to go to your local weather forecast now. The current weather at Wright State University, brought to you by Tomorrow.io, is mostly clear and 34 degrees. The wind is coming from the south at 9 miles per hour. Little breezy, got some gusts up to 20 miles per hour. The relative humidity is 60%. The barometer is 30.25 inches of mercury. Visibility is 10 miles, and air quality is moderate. The 12-hour forecast shows partly cloudy skies, but there's going to be some clouds rolling in starting at 10 a.m., and it's going to be cloudy for the remainder of the day. Temperatures are going to reach 40 degrees at about 10:30, and then peak at 49 degrees at 3 p.m. before starting to cool off after 4 p.m. Here's your extended weather forecast from the National Weather Service at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Today, partly sunny, high around 50. Tonight, mostly cloudy in the evening with a chance of rain developing overnight, low in the lower 40s. Thanksgiving Day, periods of rain all day, high in the upper 40s. So be sure to take your umbrella and your rain poncho when you're going out on Thanksgiving. Also, be careful when you're driving home Thanksgiving night because there's a chance of a rain and snow mixture on Thanksgiving Day night. With a low in the mid-20s.
Ooh, winter's here almost.
Yeah. Friday, mostly sunny, high in the mid-30s. Friday night, mostly cloudy, low in the mid-20s. Saturday, partly sunny, high in the mid-40s. Saturday night, a chance of a rain and snow mixture, low in the lower 30s. And finally, Sunday, a chance of rain and snow in the morning, and then mostly cloudy in the afternoon, high in the lower 40s. And now for global and national news. First off, from the New York Times Morning Edition. David Leonhardt, using rapid COVID tests. If the U.S. government had done a better job making rapid COVID-19 tests available, the advice for how to use them this holiday weekend would be easy. Take one at the start of every day when you plan to spend time with people outside your household. That approach is possible in other countries. In Britain, pharmacies offer free packs of 7 tests that people can take at home. In Germany, rapid tests are also widely available and mostly free. In this country, the situation is different, largely because the FDA has been slow to approve the tests. The Biden administration has not been as aggressive in fixing the situation as it could have been, but it has made progress. A couple of months ago, tests are often impossible to find, and now they are sporadically available at many stores. Friends and family around the country have told the New York Times this week that they have usually been able to find a test after looking in enough places. The tests are not free, however. They typically cost about $25 for a pack of 2. The combination of their costs and irregular availability means that Americans interested in rapid tests often must make choices about when to use them.
All I can say is, arrgh. Yeah. And of course, the opinions do not reflect WWSU or its entities, but, other countries are pretty much way smarter than we are right now and doing their people more of a service than us, so that's pretty sad. Mm-hmm. As I hack my COVID cough.
You okay?
Yeah. Tail end.
The New York Times Morning Edition for today offers a guide for doing so, for being able to get your COVID test, especially as a way to protect older people who remain the most vulnerable to serious COVID illness during that Thanksgiving weekend. Rapid tests can help reduce worries about gathering with loved ones for the holidays. Jennifer Nuzzo, an epidemiologist at Johns Hopkins University, told the New York Times. Nuzzo's immediate family plans to take tests on Thanksgiving before going over to their host for the meal, and so does the author of this article. So the morning edition goes into why you should get rapid tests, which ones should you get, how can you get them, when you should get them, who should get them. So be sure to check that out. Other headlines today for the New York Times. The U.S. and 5 other world powers still tap into their oil stockpiles to try and bring down gas prices. A jury found the organizers of a far-right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, are liable for injuries and awarded more than $25 million in damages. New York City may soon allow more than 800,000 non-citizens to vote in municipal elections. Wealthy nations are trying to lure foreign workers to fill labor shortages. Elizabeth Holmes, on trial for fraud, presented herself on the stand as naive and ambitious. Germany will have a center-left government for the first time in 16 years. Olaf Scholz, a social democrat, will be the new chancellor. An 8-year-old boy is the 6th fatality of Sunday's attack on a Christmas parade in Wisconsin. CVS Health, Walgreens, and Walmart help perpetuate the opioid crisis, according to a jury. NASA launched a spacecraft to test a plan to save humanity from killer asteroids. And now from Cheddar News and Need to Know. If you're hitting the road for the holiday weekend, gas prices have dipped a bit in recent days, though the national average is still more than $1 higher than it was last Thanksgiving. Prices are expected to fall further after President Biden said he'd release a record 50 million barrels of oil from the strategic reserve. If you're flying, get ready to be a guinea pig in the airline industry's biggest stress test of the pandemic, with travel nearing pre-COVID levels in the U.S. The good news, the country is looking at a largely quiet weather pattern for the busiest travel day of the year. Unfortunately, we here at Fairborn, Ohio, are not going to experience the quiet weather. We are going to have rain. From Bloomberg, COVID is now as bad as it's ever been in some parts of the country, with at least 15 states reporting ICUs that are fuller than they were last Thanksgiving. The surge is hitting states with decent to good levels of vaccination, like Michigan, which has the highest per capita case rate in the country, despite a vaccination rate that's around the national average. Even highly vaccinated New England states like Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine are getting hit, mostly due to unvaxxed patients from rural areas. From Journal Sentinel, Waukesha, a latest victim, an 8-year-old boy, has died following the Christmas parade tragedy in Waukesha, Wisconsin. The news of the death...
Waukesha, sorry.
Waukesha.
Yeah, Waukesha, yeah.
The news of the death came after prosecutors charged Darrell Brooks with 5 counts of intentional homicide for allegedly driving his SUV through that parade. He has been held on $5 million bail. For the New York Times, a federal jury in Ohio found that CVS, Walmart, and Walgreens are liable for helping to fuel the opioid pandemic by creating an oversupply of the addictive painkillers.
Read that 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
It was the first jury verdict in an opioid case and the first time that retail pharmacies have been held accountable in the public health crisis.
Oh, yeah.
The plaintiffs in Ohio successfully used a public nuisance, if I could talk today, a public nuisance law against the retailers, which will be encouraging other plaintiffs using that same legal strategy and thousands of other opioid lawsuits that are winding their way through the courts. I don't know why I can't say that word today. I usually can say that word. From CBS News, Dollar Tree is about to become $1.25 Tree. The discount retailer has announced it will shift to baseline price for most items nationwide from $1 to $1.25, starting in April as a way to mitigate historically high costs. The company says it's not in response to short-term or transitory market conditions, but acknowledged the inflationary environment pushing up prices everywhere. That's an ad. We're going to skip that. Motley Fool. The Nasdaq's bull run looks to be slowing down, with some of the high growth staying at home stocks that became household names during the pandemic seeing a prolonged sell-off. Shares of Zoom closed down 14% on Tuesday after a series of Wall Street firms cut their price targets. DoorDash is off 15% over the last month. Robinhood is 60% from its all-time high. Peloton is down close to 20% over the last week and more than 70% since the start of the year, as it sees demand for its bikes slow down after red-hot sales during the lockdown. From Deadline, Beatles fans, your weekend plans are set. Peter Jackson's hotly anticipated 3-part documentary is rolling out on Disney Plus, with the first part dropping tomorrow. The Beatles Get Back features unseen footage of John, Paul, George, and Ringo as they prepare for the band's last live performance. Jackson got access to 60 hours of video and 150 hours of audio that had been locked away in London for half a century.
Wow.
The Grammy nominations are in after the Recording Academy changed its nominating process over criticism that the awards often feel hopelessly out of touch with the zeitgeist. John Batiste, the composer and band leader for Stephen Colbert, leads the pack with 11 nominations. Olivia Rodrigo, Justin Bieber, Lil Nas X, Kanye West, and Billie Eilish are also among those up for Album of the Year. Jay-Z got a couple nods for songwriting and collaborations. I cannot talk today.
You have dysverbia today, Triple P.
Making him the most nominated artist in Grammy history. As for snubs, BTS, Casey Musgraves, and Drake were all left out of the song, record, and album of the year categories. All right. Did you know that plumbers refer to the day after Thanksgiving as Brown Friday?
Oh, funny.
And now you do. According to Roto-Rooter, who would presumably know such things, the Friday after Thanksgiving is the biggest day of the year for plumbing and drainage problems.
Oh, I wonder why. All that Thanksgiving turkey down the drain.
The combination of large gatherings, meal prep, kitchen overload, and generally just lots of people washing dishes, doing laundry, taking showers, and flushing toilets put extra strain on the sewage system. One easy way to avoid becoming part of Brown Friday: never pour cooking or turkey grease down the drain. And that concludes the current events for today. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to get into your daily dose of inspiration. This one's an interesting one. For today's daily dose of inspiration, we're going to be talking about the regrets of people who are dying and what we can learn from them. So you are listening to the Right Morning Show on WWSU 106.9 FM. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Hey, this is Mac Miller, and you're listening
Welcome back to the Right Morning Show on WWSU 106.9 FM. Let's get into our daily dose of inspiration, shall we? This comes from getpocket.com, specifically paraphrased from Stylist by Bronnie Ware. The 5 most common regrets of the dying and what we can learn from them. So Bronnie Ware, a former palliative care nurse and best-selling author, shares the 5 most common regrets of the dying and her advice on how to live a life full of happiness and joy. So life has sped up. A never-ending stream of stimuli is vying for your attention every minute of the day, including the Right Morning Show on WWSU 106.9 FM. Some of it is fabulous and some of it is time-wasting. So how do you decipher how you spend your time? The answer? You face the fact that you are actually going to die one day and that your time is sacred. The more awareness you can bring to this, the more it will support you to live well by being true to the life that makes the most sense to your heart and not the life dictated by society or others. To understand the sacredness of your time and to realize the power that lies in the decisions that you make, it helps to learn from those who have gone before you, from those who have not made the right decisions and have spent their deathbed days in the anguish and pain of regret. By looking at the most common regrets of the dying, as shared with me during my years as a palliative nurse, you might find yourself at a turning point. One where you can recognize the power of your choice from this moment onwards. So first off, so this is one of the regrets of the dying. I wish I lived a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. As a child, it was natural to mirror your primary caregivers. It was how you learned. There was no real choice but to adapt to whatever their beliefs and lifestyles were. Your parents or caregivers may have made plenty of mistakes or done a lot of things right, but either way, they were living from their own life experiences and reactions, doing their best as who they were at the time. Then the individual calling becomes more prominent. Your heart awakens and you realize that your own beliefs and preferences may not actually be aligned to those you have been raised with. And so begins the healing of realizing you are not living a life true to yourself, but rather the life that is expected of you. Dying people realized they had not found enough courage to live true to their own heart's voice, and it left them in depths of grief for a life not lived honestly to themselves. Life is calling you now to find that courage and to step into your own joy. Realize the sacredness of your time. Regret number 2. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. There's nothing wrong with loving your work, and it's brilliant if you do. But whether you do or you don't, it's easy to get caught up in the never switching off from it properly. This is even more true in a society whose very lifeblood is supported by technology. Dying people learned too late that there needed to be more in their lives than work. When it was taken away from them, there was nothing left. No identity to support them, no stimulus to inspire them, and no joy. They realized they needed more work-life balance in their lives and a commitment to other areas of their lives. Most admitted it was fear that had kept them glued to their career. Fear of lack with money, fear of judgment from work peers, and fear of failure. By creating space and also honoring other areas of life, you can bring more efficiency to your working life anyway. And of course, you could bring more joy. Third regret of the dying. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. When children are sad, they cry. When they're angry, they vent. When they're scared, they say so. And when they're happy, they dance. Expressing your feelings was once a natural part of who you were. And as you mature, you learn how to be less scared, for example. You learn life skills to help you navigate through various emotions and see things from different perspectives. A lot of these skills support you, but some of them hinder your natural expressions until over time you think it's normal to never be vulnerable or express yourself honestly. Of course, this feels even more normal since most of those around you are doing the same. It could take immense courage to express yourself, whether that is by being vulnerable and sharing your love, or being strong and sticking up for yourself. But it is absolutely vital to do so if you are going to live your fullest life, the one that makes the most sense to your heart, and the one that will ensure you don't join the ranks of dying people living their last days with the heart wrenching anguish of regret. By facing your fear and expressing yourself one piece at a time, you could develop the habit of speaking honestly with emotional maturity. You could set yourself free and inspire others to do the same. Is regret number 4 of the dying. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. In a world where it is almost impossible to lose contact with friends, thanks to the likes of social media, this regret may seem irrelevant. You can send someone a text message to say you're thinking of them, comment on their Facebook feed or Instagram photo, or chat via a messenger app. But how long is it since you've really connected with these people in real life? How long since you've laughed together, cried together, eaten together, or just hung out?
Or got COVID together.
Or that too.
Oh, yeah.
Real life connection is the essence of well being. It is natural that some friends may fall away as your lifestyles and tastes change. New friends can come into your life through various channels like work, technology, sport, or shared interests such as book clubs or meetup groups. Dying people regretted not staying in touch with their old friends, though, because during their last weeks, they wanted to reminisce, laugh about the old days, feel understood, and remember they once belonged in an easier world. Text messages and brief contact is better than none, but making the effort for real life time together is some of the best medicine you could give yourself for a regret-free life. And the 5th regret of the dying. I wish I had allowed myself to be happier. Happiness is a choice. It doesn't come from being lucky. It's not a denial of the hard times. Without the contrast, you can never know how strong you really are, what you can rise to, or what your potential truly is. The hard times have their purpose to help you discover all of that. But how long you choose to stay focused on the hard times and their associated stories is your own choice. You could choose happiness in many ways. Choose to find the blessings rather than allowing others to dictate your sense of worth. Don't stay stuck in old stories, and always find things to be grateful for regardless of your circumstances. Every time you take ownership of your focus and steer it towards something that leaves you feeling a little better, you are opening your heart and life up to more happiness. Life is not a penance. It is a precious gift of time. The realization that dying people had around this and seeing how they allowed other people to determine their worthiness for happiness brought incredible insights to them and heart-wrenching regret. It's your life, and choose your own focus. Every single decision you can make, and every single snippet of courage you can find to ensure you are living true to your own heart takes you further away from the anguish and heartbreak of regret. And the more courageous you are, the more the world also benefits. After all, we are all in this together. And that was written by Bronnie Ware from Stylist, paraphrased by Get Pocket. Harmony, which of the 5 regrets of the dying would you say you relate to the most?
I would say more or less living true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest one. And a little side note, whether you're a terminal patient dying of something, or if you're just a regular person that doesn't have anything. Long time ago, an older mentor of mine always said, "You're born to die, and in death you are reborn. But
Mm-hmm.
the day that you are born is the day that you start dying."
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, you know, we're born, yes, it's a new life, but you never know when that life will leave,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be by terminal sickness, accident, or otherwise. So I would say at any age, regardless of where you are health-wise or otherwise, to live life to the absolute fullest, do things on that bucket list before you kick the bucket.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts overall about this article?
I think it's a good way to wake up a little bit. I mean, some people might think, "Ew, I don't want to think about dying."
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to. It's a reality. Something that we all go through at one point in time or another. In fact, it's something that's been on my mind off and on as I get older.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a natural progression of things. We're told to prepare and this and that and whatever. But no matter how prepared you are, there's still cases where, things still happen anyway. But my overall, I guess, takeaway from it would be for people just to live your life to the fullest. Take every moment with family, friends, kids. Take the vacations, whether you've got the money or not. People are like, "Oh, I ain't got no money." There's always going to be a way to make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in touch with the people that you love. I mean, I can say I have a small amount of friends, and we keep in contact regularly. There are some people that I have put off that list that I do not speak with anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. I wish them well, I wish them love, and I hope they're very happy. I have new people that have come into my life, little trickle here, a couple of them. Very cool, decent people. And, I would just encourage, that your friends that are the closest, it's not your quantity, it's your quality of
Yeah.
friends and your quality of your life and what you're doing to put forth whatever energy you bring into the world. So shine your brightest is what I would say. But it is just a reality check, I think, of whatever reality be perceived to be at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
to get yourself in order, get yourself together. And, I don't believe any time is wasted time. So it's just where you're at in any stage of it.
Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting though to take the perspective of those who are dying because yeah, they with their life coming to an end, they have a perspective that a lot of us will not understand until we get to that point in time.
Mhm. Right.
So, especially I can imagine when you get close to the point in time when you die that you reminisce about life and it could go it could go on a I guess a what am I trying to say? A dichotomy of two different ways. You could either focus on the regrets or up to you could focus on all of the moments
Positive.
in life where you felt
Yeah.
gratitude. Yeah, the
Yeah.
positive times.
I think that's pretty much a better take than most. I feel like instead of focusing on what didn't I do, focus on all the good and what you did do,
Hmm.
because that outweighs, in some cases, it outweighs the other.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, it's something we should be doing every day, but Thanksgiving is a reminder for us to be doing that.
Well, and I agree with you there, but I also, would say double double. It's like instead of just being thankful for one day out of the year or gathering for Christmas one day out of the year, it's gotten distorted.
Mm-hmm.
Holidays have gotten distorted. They've turned into commercialized money-making ventures. If they weren't, we wouldn't have like Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and the 4th of July all slammed together.
Mm-hmm.
But, back in the day, and I understand things change, sure, change is inevitable. But it's about family, it's about friends, it's about community, it's about togetherness, helpfulness, gratitude. And that's something that we need to have every single day. A friend of mine, God rest his soul, he used to say, thanks living, not Thanksgiving.
Mm.
Thanks living, thanks for living. And every day, it was a day of thanks living, to have another day, to have another opportunity to do what you needed to do.
That's a very cool perspective. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.